Hello everyone. I hope everyone's doing well and is safe at their respective natives. Today, I'm here to discuss about life in cyber bubble. To start the session, I would like everyone of you to keep this in mind that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. So let's get going with the session. So before we start with the session, I would like to introduce myself. Myself, Suraj Dhamak. I'm a computer undergrad from Pune, and I'm passionately inclined towards the field of cybersecurity. Yep. So today's session is titled as Life in Cyber Bubble, right? So it's very important for us to first get familiar with cyberspace to understand what exactly the term cyberspace means. So you may be saying there are four what's written, right? So first of all, I would like to tell that definition of cyberspace is all about what. So let's ask a few questions. The first question is, what is cyberspace? So the answer is it's an environment. Now again the question comes, what kind of environment? What that environment includes? So that environment basically includes network. Now again the question comes, what the network consists of? So we have the answer on screen. The network consists of information systems infrastructure. Now again a last question. What is included in that information systems infrastructure? So basically it's internet, telecommunication networks, computer systems, processors and controllers. And that's it. Now we have a complete definition of cyberspace. So overall, cyberspace is an environment which consists of a network, and that network comprises of various information systems infrastructure like internet, telecommunication networks, computer systems, processors, and controllers. So this was all about cyberspace. Now I hope that all of us are very well aware about the term cyberspace. Let's quickly take a look at few problems that are usually faced when we interact in the cyberspace. So these are malware, password attacks, man-in-the-middle attack, injection attacks, denial of service, spamming, and phishing. So these are very few common attacks which are usually faced by people when they interact with cyberspace. Now it's time to see what exactly cybersecurity means. So till now we have seen what is cyberspace, what kind of issues someone may face when they are inside the cyber bubble, right? Now it's time to dive deep and check out what exactly cybersecurity is. So again, I have a pictorial representation for all of you to learn what exactly cybersecurity is. The big picture is clearly mentioned on the slide. Let's go through it. So we can see five names or terms on the screen, right? The first two are technologies and processes. So to start with, I would say cybersec or cybersecurity is a combination of technologies and processes. Now the question comes where, how, and why these technologies are used. The answer is again on the screen. These technologies or processes are used to protect. Now, one more question. What is to be protected? Or what needs to be protected? The answer is the infrastructure needs to be protected. Now, one last question. Against whom the infrastructure is to be protected? And again, the answer is very obvious. That is against the cyber attacks. Yep. And there we go. After asking just few basic questions, we got an amazing definition of cybersecurity. The combination of technologies and processes used to protect critical infrastructure or data from number of cyber attacks, somewhere in the bigger picture is termed as cybersecurity. Let's take a very quick and fast rewind about whatever we have seen till now. We have started with cyberspace, then discussed about some issues in cyberspace, and then we saw what exactly cyberspace means. Now let's pivot directly towards cybercrimes. In simple terms, criminal activities carried out by means of technology, computers, or maybe the internet is termed as cybercrime. In this session, we will be specifically discussing about cyberbullying as it stands to create a sense of awareness amongst the teens, just to prevent them from falling prey to cruel side of the cyber world. So cyberbullying is nothing but the use of internet and related technologies to harm other people in deliberate, repeated, and hostile manner. Throughout the course of this session, we will be discussing in short about few of the techniques of cyberbullying. Let's start with flaming. So flaming is nothing but a type of online bullying which constitutes of posting about or directly sending insults and profanity to their target. Flaming is somewhere similar to trolling, but will usually be more direct attack on a victim to incite them into online fights. So this was all about flaming. Let's check what is masquerading. So masquerading happens when a bully creates a fake profile or fake identity online with the sole purpose of cyberbullying someone. So this could basically involve creating a fake email account, fake social media profile, and selecting a new identity and photos to fool the victim. Maybe. This was all about flaming and masquerading. Let's move towards cyberstalking. So cyberstalking is the use of the internet or other electronic means to stalk or harass an individual or a group maybe or an organization. So it may include false accusations, defamation, slander, and libel. It may also include monitoring, identity theft, threats, vandalism, doxing, or blackmail. So this was all about cyberstalking. Till now we have covered flaming, masquerading, and cyberstalking. Now let's move on to trolling. So trolling is when someone will seek out to intentionally upset others by posting inflammatory comments online. So till now we have seen four types or four techniques by which someone can cyberbully you. Let's move on and check the next four. So here we have on slide is harassment. So harassment is a broad category under which many types of cyberbullying falls, but generally it refers to a sustained and constant pattern of hurtful or threatening online messages sent with the intention to of doing harm to someone. And the next is dissing. So dissing refers to this practice of spreading cruel information about their target through maybe public posts or private messages to either ruin their reputation or relationship with other people. Now we'll see what exactly trickery is. So trickery is somewhat like the bully will befriend their target and lull them into a false sense of security. And once the bully has gained their target's trust, they abuse that trust and share their victims' secrets and private information to third party or maybe multiple third parties. And the last cyberbullying technique or attack we'll be looking at is doxing. The practice of openly posting sensitive or personal information online without their consent, basically for purpose of embarrassing or humiliating them, is termed as doxing. So this was all about some techniques. These are not the complete technique, or we can't say that these are the only technique for cyberbullying someone. But I took these eight techniques because these eight are most highly faced by teens, and the session is highly focused for teens or preteens. So that's why I thought of putting these forward. Let's move on. Yeah. So as I mentioned that, okay. So before going to this particular site, let's check that what we have seen earlier. So we have seen some of the common techniques or methods of cyberbullying. But the thing is, the major highlight I would say, or we can say the major issue lies here. The prime target, or we can say the prime motive, or the prime section of society which is highly prone to this type of attacks are preteens. Yes, you heard it right. The children between the age frame of 13 to 18 years are highly prone to fall prey for these type of attacks. And in today's modern world, where every other person seems to be tech savvy, these teens usually hit social media in this age frame, where everything seems to be attractive and fascinating. And some of them are trapped in such attacks just due to unguided and insecure use of internet and social space. And then these are the serious effects which teens may suffer due to cyberbullying. So those are stress and harmful health effects, undermining confidence, depression and sense of loneliness, um, negative effect or negative impact on performance in school, suicidal thoughts, and many more. Now, I hereby take this opportunity and use this platform to pass on a strong message amongst this group of preteens and anyone who falls prey to such type of attacks. And the message is very strong and bold: fight against cyberbullying. Now, the question comes how this can be done. The very initial step for preteens is to tell your parents about such incidents if you face any. Next one is don't instigate. To instigate is like, or don't instigate, we can say this basically means that don't try to pay back in the same manner by which you were attacked. Don't try to push it too hard to confront the bully. Rather, I would say that prefer the legal way to fight against him or her. Next thing can be done is block that person over social media if it becomes very unbearable for you, right? Because it's a kind of mental stress, and if it becomes unbearable for you, the simple thing is to block that person and stay away from. And the most important is create awareness amongst your peers. So what happens is, it may be a scenario that you may be bullied, but you may feel that if I tell it to others, then they may laugh at me. But this is not the case. It will be a completely opposite effect. If you tell someone that, yeah, I was bullied in this way, or I was trapped into such things due to my XYZ mistake, then it creates a sense of awareness to other people that they will not commit such kind of mistake and they will stay safe in the world of cyberspace. So it's basically very important to create awareness. And last but not the least, under run of protecting yourself against cyberbullying, don't be a cyberbully yourself because it has a number of negative impacts. Now let's check or let's see what legal actions can be taken against such attackers, right? So whatever is mentioned on the slide, this is how Indian government helps you. So there's an Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center which has two major units. The first one is National Cybercrime Threat Analytics Unit, and the second is National Cybercrime Reporting Unit. So this organization always holds your back and stands beside you to fight against any type of cybercrime. So this is the helpline number where you can contact immediately if you feel that you are trapped into some sort of cybercrime. So the number is 155260. And given below is the website where you can legally file your complaints. That is www.cybercrime.gov.in. We are almost at the end of this session. So before I conclude, I have some very important, or I would say I have something very important for the teams. And as soon as you enter the age group of 15, you try to be very active on social media platforms because in that age frame, all of these seems to be very fascinating. So friends, while you handle a number of social media accounts, computers, smartphones, and any kind of stuff related to technology, it is very important to keep track of your passwords. Rather, I would say it's really important to have strong and tough to break passwords. So here I have some tips for you, which will really help you for password safety. The first one is your password should comprise of at least 8 characters. The more, the better. The more number of characters, the tough it is to break your password and the more secure your password gets. Next point is a mixture of both uppercase and lowercase letters. So it's like usually most of the sites would suggest you that don't use completely lowercase letters because the strength of your password gets weakened if you follow a pattern of single case, that is either follow complete lowercase or either follow complete uppercase. So it's highly suggested to use a combination of uppercase letters and lowercase letters. Now the third point is it's not only sufficient to use letters, either uppercase or lowercase. You should also include some numbers in your password. It adds to one level of security patch to your password. So till now we have seen is at least eight characters. The more the better. Mixture of upper and lower case. And the next is at least add a single number. The more numbers or the more the combination is, it becomes more tricky for the attacker to try to crack your password. And one more thing is, along with uppercase, lowercase characters and numbers, it's highly suggested to use at least one of the special characters, and the examples are on your screen: at the rate, hashtag, question mark, exclamatory mark, and such things. Now just to add to your warning that when you're using special characters, please don't use this angular brackets because in some browsers it creates a problem when you use angular brackets because these angular brackets are most probably used in the source codes of JavaScript. So if you try and use these angular brackets in your password, then you may get some sort of error while logging in at some particular browsers. So this was some tips for teens I hope that you will follow this and stay safe. Then, yep. So this was all about today's session. To conclude with, I would say thank you to everyone who patiently attended this and enjoy the cyberspace and stay safe. So that's all. Thank you, everyone. Thanks all.